Hello everyone, it's Brett here, Lionheart 84, and I thought I'd do a quick update on my rapidly deteriorating Acerola, or Malpighia, or Barbados Cherry. They have a lot of different names. Now, for anybody who happens to remember it, this is the one that I got from an Italian nursery back in, I think it was September, and unfortunately the package got lost and got delayed several days, and when it turned up and I opened the box, this plant had completely, every leaf had dried out on it and crinkled up on it, and then the next week or so every leaf fell off it and I was left with two bare stems. Then it seemed to be started to make a recovery, and all of the new shoots started to come out on it, and it got reasonable leaf growth. And then unfortunately over the course of winter, as often happens with these ones that have had a bad shock and they're severely weakened, it's gradually continued. It looked alright for a while and it's gradually continued to deteriorate. This plant, when I got it, had two stems here, and the first stem, gradually the leaves all shriveled and died right back to the base, and that's obviously died off, and the second stem was looking okay, but as you can now see, I've already cut it back a couple of times. It's now starting to, all of the leaves are starting to wilt, and this is gradually moving back down the stem lower and lower, so the plant is clearly dying back. Now, I've had this on citrus before, and I'm now fairly sure that the roots, what with the shock, and probably I may have overwatered it because I wanted to keep the plant from wilting, but I believe it's now suffering from root rot or starvation. This soil they put it in is very, very heavy and muddy, which is fine when you're growing it in a hot Mediterranean climate, but when you come here to our cooler climate with low light, not ideal at all, and it weighs a fair bit. So I think it's probably going to be beyond saving, and it's going to carry on dying back, but I've decided what I'm going to do is a last ditch effort to try and save it as the daylight hours get longer. I'm going to take it out of this pot and bare root the plants, put it in some warm water, and try and remove all of this heavy soil and get the roots completely opened up and get any mud that's stuck on them off. And then I'm going to repot it into a much more open, free draining soil, and put a polythene bag over it, and I'll have to cut all this wilted shoots off, because these are simply going to carry on losing moisture while the roots aren't operating, and they're not going to recover anyway. So my best chance is to take off a lot of the top growth and just hope if by some miracle it survives. I know these acerolas can be really awkward anyway and prone to root problems, and our low light climate, obviously indoors it's very dry as well because of the central heating. So I'm going to have a last ditch effort and see if I can save the plant like I managed to do it with the guava last year. But of course guavas are an awful lot easier to grow and tougher than acerolas. So while I've still got some light, I'm going to get some warm water and progress with that, and then come back at the end so you can see what happens after I've repotted it. Okay, so here we are after repotting. I've taken about a foot off the plant and I've put it in a fractionally larger pot with a very light, free draining soil. I'm going to take this back into the house in the position it was in a window, and I'll cover it with a polythene bag with some sticks to protect it, and give it a spray with some sort of hand warm water, and just keep my fingers crossed that a miracle happens and it survives. The roots didn't seem too bad, but there's clearly an issue with them, otherwise it wouldn't be getting that wilting and dieback, because it certainly wasn't too dry. And it didn't seem to be too wet, but it was very compacted, the soil, so I'll just have to wait and see if the new mix makes any difference, if the plant makes a recovery now that the daylight hours are getting longer. Anyway, that was my Barbados Cherry. That's Malpighia Glabra, also known as Acerola. Thank you everybody who's watched the video. Please remember to give me a thumbs up. obviously share it with anyone you think might be interested. Please do subscribe to my channel if you're not already a subscriber, and hit the bell if you want to get notifications of new videos as they come out, which, should this survive, will include an update video on this in a couple of months' time. I'll catch up with you all soon. Brett out for now.